Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Women Like Me Stories in Business. I'm your host, Julie Fairhurst, and today my guest is Anne Mattingly-Lowe. Now, she is the founder and CEO of Generations Skincare. It is a proud second act, and she's a proud second act entrepreneur. So, after 27 years, that's a long time, in the pharmaceutical career, Anne came out of retirement in her mid 50s to build a business from the ground up, proving that reinvention does not come with an expiry date. Anne, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Julie, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, Anne, you started your business and you got married in your mid 50s. So,
Yeah.
what gave you the courage to start those two significant chapters of your life?
Well, I just feel like it's never too late to do what you want to do. And I had been dating my husband for a while, and we decided to have a late in life adventure. So we packed up our bags from Missouri and we moved to Colorado just on a whim. And then we got married within a year of being here. I don't know. I just
Wow.
decided it was time to do it. And I found a great guy, and I decided at that point it made sense to retire because I was on an airplane every week. And I'm like, well, why get married in my late 50s, mid 50s if I'm never going to be home, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened. We got married and then moved out here. And I'll tell you what, within about 2 months, I started getting sunspots and sun damage because the climate's
Oh.
really tough in Colorado, Julie. And I was depressed about it. I was going through menopause at the time, so everything's kind of heightened, emotions. And I
Mhm.
started getting dry, crepey skin because there's very little humidity out here. And I thought, oh my gosh, is this what it's going to be like? Am I going to just all of a sudden just start looking shriveled up and old? And my new husband is going to be like, what happened to her? So I called my niece, right? I called my
Yeah.
niece, and I have depression anyway, so it did not make it better during,
Yeah.
menopause is no joke.
No, it's not.
No.
No.
I called my niece, who is a dermatologist, and I said, "Listen, I need some help." And at that point, I had no idea I was going to come out of retirement and form a company, Julie. It sort of happened serendipitously because she helped me with some key active ingredients that really helped my skin look better and helped me feel
Uh,
better on the inside too.
yeah.
And I started sharing it with family and friends. And then COVID came and I was bored. And I'm like, everybody wants these products. And I'm up in my game. I was making everything at home in a little, my kitchen and dining room table. So I decided on a whim I said, Jeff, let's form an LLC and let's just do it. So we formed our business online in July of 2020 in the height of COVID, which isn't the smartest thing to do,
No.
right? So, yeah, and it's all been just gradual baby steps, you know? I mean, I have an entrepreneurial spirit, so that part wasn't really that scary to me. And I didn't have the stress of having to really make a lot of money because I had done that in the pharmaceutical industry. So it was more about a passion project and what could I do to make women feel more confident inside and outside, because that really motivates me.
I love
That,
that.
yeah.
There's some really good things. I mean, there's some bad things that came out of COVID, but there's some good things that came out of COVID too. And it seemed like it gave a lot of us that thought to sit back and think about the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
Yeah.
very empowering for me. I mean, there's nothing more empowering than empowering other people. And
Yeah.
to this day, Julie, I get these emails that make me tear up.
Oh,
Saying that, one person had really bad acne scars and was covering it up with a bunch of makeup. And we helped her with some of the scars and the hyperpigmentation from our products. And how, it's like she was like, this is like a miracle. I can walk outside now and not be
oh,
ashamed. And
wow.
our philanthropic arm is called the Inner Glow Initiative because I really think that inner glow is just as important as your outer glow. And one of our
Oh,
products is called
yeah.
Glow. You know what I'm talking about, Julie?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want
Wow.
people to have that, that glow.
Yeah.
And it's that confidence and it's, no
Yeah.
shame. And it really hits us harder, I think, when we go through the menopause years.
Yes. Yes. Oh, absolutely. I wanted to ask you, your family didn't have much money.
No.
But you've said that your parents gave you something more valuable. I want to know, what was it that your parents gave you?
Well, they taught me about faith and having a strong work ethic
Yeah.
and believing that ordinary people like me can do extraordinary things. So that if you work hard, that we do, we live in the land of the free and there's nothing that can stop you. So I just, yeah, we didn't come from a lot. My mom had multiple sclerosis since my entire life. And my
Uh,
dad was a World War II vet and was a tanker in the
wow.
Army in World War II. And had a lot of battle fatigue and PTSD and and I mean it was not easy, but it was like amazing because they just always said just work hard and they would make flashcards with me to study and cheer me on at all
Yeah.
my games and
Oh,
it really I just learned at a young age that if you work harder than everybody else, even if you're not the smartest one, you
yeah.
can be an overachiever, and that really stuck with me.
Yeah. Wow. That is a beautiful thing that they gave you.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of people don't have it. They
absolutely.
grew up with all the money in the world.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So many women will reach their 50s and 60s and then wonder, is this it? So
Yeah.
did you experience a moment like that? And then how did you realize that it wasn't the end of your story?
Well, yeah. I mean, I did. I did. When I retired, I kind of thought, I'm done. And but I thought, well, Jeff and I will have adventures because we like to travel. And I'm getting married, so I was still trying to do new things. But like I said, I went through this phase where I was really, really depressed. I had gained some weight and my face wasn't look. Nobody talks about what menopause does to your skin. We'll talk about that when you're ready. But it
Yeah.
really does a number on your skin and your body and your brain and all these things. And I guess, yeah, I went through a point where I was a little bit depressed about it. And this really kind of helped me get my groove back.
Yeah.
Y'all
Yeah.
did, so did I, right? So it's
Yeah.
like it helped me because I realized that, well, first of all, my mom died when she was 62. And
Oh,
I think sometimes, boy, lucky me, excuse me, lucky me, I get to still be here and I get to still be
yeah.
healthy and do things. So
Yeah.
I've always sort of had this carpe diem philosophy that I am, as long as I'm healthy enough to still do things, I'm going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I
Yeah.
get, because my mom couldn't. So
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
take that for granted.
Yeah. No. So, what was the hardest part of starting a company later in life? I know a lot of women, they just get overwhelmed and they go into the fear mode. So, was it the financial risk, the technology, your learning curve, your self doubt? What was the hardest thing for you?
I really had no idea what I was doing. I mean,
I
let's just
guess
tell,
that's a big one.
I had no idea what I was doing. So but I'm a learner, right?
Yeah.
So I just kept researching and researching and asking questions. And, I'm a believer that you start slow and you're going to make mistakes. So that's okay. You don't like throw all the money at it at the very beginning. And then most companies don't make it past that first year because
Yeah.
maybe they don't make the smartest decisions. And my dad always taught me how to make good financial decisions. So I'm very good with that. I'm very frugal and I'm very
Yeah.
mindful about it. So I think it was just trying to get a system in place. Because, like I
Mhm.
said, we started off at home and
Yeah.
I uprooted our lives. I mean, poor Jeff, I have this new husband. I've got like stuff all over the house. I'm making stuff in the kitchen on the stove. I've got the dining room covered with all this stuff. And then thank goodness we had the good sense to get this place. So now I have like a place to be and I have a lab in the back. And a lot of it is,
Yeah.
but you have to be able to afford A before B before C. So I think it
Yes.
was making those strategic decisions one at a time and saying, okay, we got to get better packaging. People aren't going to take us serious if we've got these little amber bottles with eyedroppers, although expensive companies do use those.
Yes.
We need to
Yes.
do better. We got to get
Yes.
airless pumps. And then we have to afford professional labels. I think it was just learning to
Yeah.
take the next step, the next step, the next step. I'm not good with technology. So like, that was a huge thing for me. So I had to hire somebody to put together a website for me and, learn how to try to manage it. So I always joke, like, I learned how to use Chat GPT this year, right? Like, I got to
Yes.
get with the times.
Yes. Yes. Well, and technology in our defense, it just changes so drastically. A few months down the road, there's something new, and do it this way, and you can get really lost in it. And I think what you did is smart because you didn't take your energies away from your brilliance of making your product. You said, I need to focus over here. This is not my area. Who
Right.
can I hire? And that's great because you're giving work to other people as well.
Yeah. And I think you have
Yeah.
to figure out what you're good at, right? Figure out what you're good at, and you got to learn certain things to
Yes.
competent. But you're right. I'm not going to be an expert at everything. And just
Oh,
recognizing getting the right people with the right skill sets to help me along the way has been super helpful.
yeah.
Somebody helps me with
Yeah.
ads, somebody helps me with the website. If somebody helps me ship my products, I can do that, but I need to be using my strengths where it makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that that's a good lesson for anybody out there, especially if you're a woman middle aged and you're thinking you want to get out there and start a business. You use your gifts for and your talent for building, but
Yeah.
head off over and get help elsewhere for sure. So
Yeah.
what advantages did age and experience give you that your younger self would not have had?
Well, seriously, I say I didn't know what I was doing. I really wouldn't have known what I was doing if I was
Yeah.
younger. And maybe it's a blessing, maybe it's a curse. But as we age, I think we sort of we know what to expect. We don't tend to overreact as much. And I always do this worst case scenario thing in my head, like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen, right? And it's like the
Yeah.
worst thing would be I didn't have the business and I didn't even have it before. So that's not terrible. I really am here to help people. And everybody
Yeah.
wants to tell you what to do, how to run your business and how to do everything. It's like it comes down to, like I always joke that Mr. Wonderful wouldn't like me because I'm a philanthropist and we give back a percentage of our sales to Inner Glow every month to for mental health charities. But I think
Yeah.
it's like when you get older, you think about I wanted to be purpose driven. I probably wouldn't have thought about that when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've had a blessed life. So I have the opportunity to be a role model for young girls,
Mhm.
to help people that have mental health conditions. We have a spot on our website with a mental health blog and educating people about, what to do, in crisis situations. And, there's a new field called psychodermatology where dermatologists and psychiatrists work together and figure out the connection between the skin and the brain. And those are both two things I'm very interested in. Isn't
Wow, I
that
had
fascinating?
no idea.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting.
So when you get depressed, it can show up on your skin because you lack self-care. And when you have
Ah,
bad skin, it can make you feel more depressed. So they go back and forth.
yes,
But
yeah.
it's important, I think, that we feel good inside and out. So I get asked to speak about that,
Yeah.
and it makes me proud because,
Oh,
my dad taught me a long time ago when I was young, because he had to have electroconvulsive therapy when I was in high school.
oh,
So I mean, he was all about don't worry about what anybody thinks. You do whatever it is you have to do to get better. So I think you learn that when you share your own personal stories, like we're doing now,
yeah,
people don't, it makes other people not as afraid to do it as well. So I knew
yes.
I wanted to do something where we could give back, where
Yeah,
we could, have a purpose beyond skincare, and where we could make people feel the skin better. And I
yeah,
wanted to do it at an affordable price because I can't stand it when companies charge so much money and then
yeah,
it makes it feel like it's out of reach for the everyday woman.
yes.
We're
Yeah,
all everyday women. Why does it have to be,
yes.
200 bucks a bottle? That's crazy. So I
I know.
knew that I wanted to make it affordable.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into your skincare industry. So, why did you feel that the skincare industry was not adequately serving women experiencing their midlife changes? What did you find?
Well, I found that after I lived through menopause, I had a better idea of what was going on because
Yeah,
I expected the hot flashes.
yeah,
I expected the mood swings. I expected a little bit more belly around my belly.
yeah.
I did not expect the huge changes in my face. And
Ah,
nobody really explained that to me. So I'm a nerd, I've always been a science nerd. So I was like, I'm going to figure this out. So I really started researching and then talking to my niece. And it's just this natural aging thing that happens to us. So around age 25 to 30, we start making about 1 to 2% less collagen and hyaluronic acid. When we reach menopause, we make 5 to 6% less per year. So what does that
Oh,
look like? We start losing volume in our face, and it
yeah,
looks like more skin around here because it starts to kind of go south. At the
yeah,
same time, our elastin fibers start breaking. So we lose our elasticity so it doesn't bounce. So
yeah.
what's happening is we got loose skin that doesn't bounce. So gravity sets in and it kind of goes like this. I can tell typically who's postmenopausal or going through menopause between the nose and the neck. So we get
Oh,
nasolabial folds, right?
yeah,
We get
yeah,
jowls, we get turkey neck, crepey,
yeah.
all that. That's what happens,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Okay. The turkey neck. Yes. Yeah. My
Well,
biggest fear in life, I'm going to have to get turtlenecks.
well, I know it's the thing.
Yeah.
So, I know that we can help with it. We don't make it
Yeah.
totally better because we're going to still age.
Right. Yeah.
But I found that two things help a lot. One is a bunch of hydration, and most companies aren't using the right kind of hyaluronic acid. And we can talk about that whenever you're ready. The
Yeah.
other thing is peptides. So, topical peptides and internal
Oh,
peptides can actually help. They're short amino acid chains that signal to our dermis, which is the second layer of our skin, for our bodies to naturally start making more hyaluronic acid and more collagen and repair elastin. So I love to slather on a product we have called Glow because it's got three medical grade peptides and also DMAE that works on wrinkles and niacinamide, and I can just pop a little glow on and my face immediately just feels better.
wow.
Yeah.
And did you say earlier that it also takes away the dark spots?
Another one of our products does that.
Okay.
So this is live. Excuse me. I went and
No,
grabbed some
no,
products.
no,
So
that's
I don't
fine.
salesy at all. I just want to be educational. So
Yes.
like this product Glow, this is all I wear on my face. So I do a couple pumps like this, and that's all I wear. It's been very liberating for me because I wear no makeup anymore. All I wear is
Ah,
a little lip product and
yeah.
mascara. So it's
Ah,
notice you do the neck. Okay. So that's all about the peptides. Yes, as we age, we do get more dark spots, but it's
okay.
from the sun. It's not aging, right? It's sun
Okay.
damage. So people say I
Okay.
have liver spots. I'm like, you have sun damage, right? Um,
Yeah.
and that happens. We've
Yeah.
had a lifetime of sun.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely help with that. Because that is one of the things that motivated me to come out of retirement. I'll just tell you, because when I started getting these sunspots, I was alarmed because my older sister Gail had had skin cancer and
Uh,
had to have Mohs surgery on her face.
oh
And I
dear.
thought, oh, heck no, we're not doing that. So when I called
Yeah.
my niece Teresa, I'm like, listen, I got to get rid of these spots. That was my number one priority. And I
Yeah.
was wearing all this makeup trying to cover them up. And frankly, it
Yeah.
made me look older. I was 53 at the time,
Mhm.
and now I'm 61. And I was wearing a bunch of makeup then, and now I'm not. And it makes you feel like, hey, this is pretty cool that I don't have to do that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and when it comes down to sunspots, obviously everybody on the planet should be wearing a sunscreen.
Right.
And I highly recommend one with minerals, like with titanium dioxide and zinc oxide.
Okay.
Okay. We have one
Wow.
that's tinted and it blends into your skin tone so it doesn't look like makeup. The number one ingredient you can use for prevention is a good vitamin C. I love L-ascorbic acid. So our
Mm.
glycerin has 15% L-ascorbic acid. I don't know if I can say another brand, but we have the same exact ingredients as SkinCeuticals, vitamin C,
Okay.
E, ferulic acid, and
Ah,
theirs is $186 an ounce, and ours is 38.95.
holy smokers. Wow, that's a
And
huge difference.
yes, and we're way cleaner. We don't use a lot of companies use propylene glycol. So they use 30% propylene glycol, which is antifreeze.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to put antifreeze on my
Antifreeze?
face. Yeah. And they sell this in doctors' offices. It just makes me crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to do better. Right.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I don't like to use, we don't use that kind of ingredients in our products. They
Yeah.
also use a preservative called phenoxyethanol. You can tell by the sound of that it's bad for you. So
Yeah.
ours comes from radish root. It's a lactobacillus ferment, so it's a
Ah,
clean preservative. So what we've done is we include the medically active ingredients that are recognized that work, and then we also try to not use the things that are known to be less desirable on your skin.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah.
goal is for everything to be a fraction of the price so everyone can have it.
Yeah.
The other thing that we do that's different, am I talking too much about
No,
ingredients?
no, no, you keep going.
Are you
No,
sure?
you're
Okay.
educating us. Go for it.
I get so excited about it.
You've got that
Okay.
pharmaceutical background, which it's coming out. I love it. You just keep
Well,
going for it.
I love it because it's not a miracle why this works. It's
Right.
science. It's
Yeah.
science. Like I do a lot of weekend festivals and I'll walk by a booth and they'll say, Miracle Honey gets rid of your wrinkles and helps your joints. I'm like, oh, come on. I love a good honey. Don't get me wrong. I love it more than anybody else. But don't make a claim like that. It's not a miracle. So tell me why
Ah,
does it work? So I can tell you
yes.
why our ingredients do what they do because they're proven to do it. And
Yeah.
it's science. So vitamin C is known to prevent the melanin from ever being produced when the sun comes down. The sun comes down and in the basal layer of our epidermis, it forms melanin. And then that's the pigment. And then it gradually travels up through the epidermis, to the mid epidermis, to the top to where we can see it. So there's three places that we interrupt that pigmentation cycle. One is on the prevention end with vitamin C, because that can prevent a lot of the melanin from ever being formed. And then the second area is where it travels slowly up to the top of your skin. And that is where niacinamide comes in. We've got niacinamide in Glow, and the
Ah,
niacinamide helps prevent and reduce the pigment from transferring to the top. And then our nighttime serum has lactic acid. You put that one on, that actually sloughs them off the top. So we have three medically active ingredients
ah,
at three different layers within the skin. And that's why we're so effective on helping with sun damage on the prevention end and on that let's slough them off end, if
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. That's no beautiful. So
Yeah.
how do you promote skincare without telling women they need to look younger to have value?
Good question. It's never about really looking younger. I think looking younger is a benefit from having healthier skin. So what I tell people is we're going for healthy skin, ladies. We're
Yeah.
going for that healthy glow. We're going for
Yeah.
getting rid of sun damage so you don't get skin cancer. I want you to have healthy skin.
Yeah.
My oldest customer that I know of is 91 years old. And I have a
Wow.
lot of women in their 80s,
Yeah.
and a lot of times women come up to me and they say, oh, I'm too old. And I remind them, I'm like, your skin is your biggest organ. It represents
Yes.
33% of your body weight. I go, so you've also got a lot of other organs like your heart and your kidney and your lungs. I go, are you going to quit taking care of those too? Are we going to take our skin is just as important, if not more.
Yeah.
So treat it like an organ. It protects everything that goes in and out of your entire body. And it's not a luxury to take care of your skin. It's necessary. It's about
Yeah.
self-care and it's about protecting your biggest organ and the other organs where everything gets in and out of your body. So when you look at somebody, you can
Yeah.
tell a lot about their health by the way their skin looks, you
Yes.
know? So if I see a lot of sun damage, I'm worried. I'm like, I'm already thinking, is it squamous? Is it basal cell? Is it melanoma? Like
Yeah.
literally I'm doing
Yes.
that. And it's like we can do a lot to prevent that and to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like, since my sister actually had the cancer and the surgery, I think anything we can do to prevent that is wonderful, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
My son, he had a dark spot on his back, and
Mm,
his girlfriend was bugging him. You need to go get that checked. You need to get that checked.
yeah.
And then one day I was over for a visit, and she said, "Pull up your shirt and show your mom." And so he did, and I'm like, that doesn't look normal." And he's like, okay, well, yeah, I'll go to the doctor like, next week. I know you going tomorrow. And it ended up being melanoma. And he's had to have two surgeries to have it
Oh my
removed.
gosh.
And so we need to pay attention to these things. And
Yes.
it was from the date that she started bugging him to the date that she brought it to my attention. And I just like,
Thank goodness for you, Mama.
yeah. And it was a year that he had had it and it had
Yeah.
grown. So rather than just having it taken off easily, they took it off and then they realized, no, we got to go deeper to get all of
Yeah.
that out of there. And you
Yeah.
don't want that anywhere on your body, especially
No.
on your face.
Right. That's what I think too. So I'm like,
Yeah.
when you have healthier skin, you are going to look more vibrant. Okay. So if you
Yeah.
want to equate that to looking younger, that's great. But when women say, "Hey, are you going to make me look like I'm 20 again?" I'm like, "No. Do you
No.
want to?" I'm like,
No.
"I don't want to look like I'm 20. It's ridiculous, you know?
Yes.
I want to look
Yes.
like I look healthy for a 61-year-old woman,
Yes.
that doesn't have to
Yes.
take on the makeup and I just feel
Yeah.
confident in my own skin."
Yes. And
Right?
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I think that's the goal, isn't it? Is to be able to go about our day feeling confident and not having to plaster on the makeup.
Yeah.
Just to go to the
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, for sure. And I get a lot of emails from women that say, "You did it. I never thought I'd leave the store, the house and go to the store without makeup. And I did it. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Generation Skincare." I'm like, hey, it's empowering. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I used to be that person. And it
Yeah.
feels nice not to have to do it. I get women
Yes.
like makeup. I'm not telling you not to do
Yeah,
it,
of
but
course.
it's nice to not have to.
Well, it's nice to not have to run to the store.
Yeah.
It's nice to put it on to go for an elegant dinner
Yeah.
or a party or some fun, but not to have to throw it on to go to the grocery store.
No, exactly. And just to
Yeah.
wake up feeling like, hey, I look refreshed. I look pretty darn good. It's
Yeah.
a sign of skin health. So that's the mantra is we're all about healthy skin. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna look better. You're probably gonna look younger too. But
Yes.
people
But
tell
great
me,
for your age.
yeah,
I think that's the thing. We want to look the best we can look for the age that we're at.
exactly. And I know it's my own skin and I haven't had surgery. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, that's a cool thing to me.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
feel
Yeah.
healthy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have, and you mentioned this earlier, but I just want to touch on it a little more. So, Glow, you've got your initiative with your Glow about and with mental health. And you were mentioning you got something on your website to do with mental health. So, and inner confidence. So, how did that all become part of your mission?
A good question. I've dedicated a lot of my life to mental health advocacy and public policy. Even when I worked in the pharma industry, fortunately, I got picked to do that. So I have lobbied at state legislatures, and I have worked with mental health advocacy organizations across the country, trying to get better treatment and better services and access to, better pricing, for mental health treatment and services. Mental illness or mental health conditions, it's the only disease out there where stigma and shame is the number one reason people don't get treatment. People aren't
Mhm.
embarrassed to get treatment for anything else.
You're
And your
right.
brain is an organ too, right? Your brain's an organ like your kidney, your heart, your lung, and your skin. So we have to make people be okay with talking about it, because if you're too ashamed to talk about it and to get treatment, then you can't even get better, you know? And
Yeah.
it's so important to me. I think I mentioned a little bit about my dad, and he was ahead of
Yes.
his time. He would talk about it and go get treatment, but like if you were to look at certain demographics that would not talk about it, it would have been him
Him.
from the greatest
Yes.
generations, from the greatest generation in the military, army, right? Living in a rural
Mm.
town and being an old guy, like no way.
Yeah.
And he did because he wanted to be better for his family and for himself. So he was on some of the first antidepressants out there. And like I said,
Wow.
he did have to have electroconvulsive therapy, which is quite serious. But, he taught me to not give a damn what anybody else thought. He's like,
Oh,
he'd be like, gee, he had a bad mouth. Okay. He was an old man cusser.
that's okay.
Like, Judy, I'm crazy and nobody wants to believe me. He's like, "You."
Oh, I would have liked to have met your
He
dad.
was a trip.
Oh,
We do though. We believe you. And
yes.
but our
Yeah.
family all has a sense of humor about it. So I've
Yeah.
known about this kind of thing since I was a young girl. So
Yeah.
to me, it's like I couldn't believe it when I got in, when I found out as an adult how many people won't talk about it because of shame and stigma. And then when I
Yeah.
started to learn the statistics about it, I was like, oh my God. So I
Yeah.
feel like anytime that you can open up a dialogue and you can talk about it, like I live with depression and anxiety, and I know
Yeah.
certain things I need to do to make it better.
Yeah.
And some self-care is part of it. Like there's
Yes.
days when I don't want to get out of bed, and oh my God, if I can just wash my face, and if I can get that far, maybe I can put some glow on. Seriously.
Yeah.
So like it isn't as trite as people think. Self-care is a huge thing because people start just not taking care of themselves at all.
Yes.
And people
Yeah.
with mental illness are more likely to die from heart attacks and strokes because they have
Yeah.
a poor diet and
Yeah.
they don't get taken as seriously when they actually do go to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And I just know a lot about it. So I thought, after I retired, having spent all that time doing mental health, public policy, and advocacy, and living with my dad and having my own
Mhm.
issues and lots of friends and family, I'm like, I want to do anything I can to help.
Yeah.
So I'm going to plaster it all over my website. I'm happy to talk about it with whoever's sitting next to me on a plane. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because no shame, no gain. You can't be so
Oh,
ashamed that
yes.
you have this
Yes.
because 1 out of 4 people have a diagnosable mental health condition in any
Yes.
given time.
Yeah.
So it's not that unusual, right?
No.
So
No.
when I hear of people that are just suffering, and I'm like, well, let's open up the dialogue. So we're all about mental health awareness because awareness is a big thing. I like products that we have products that give you the glow, but I care more
Yeah.
about your inner glow. And
Yeah.
so our goal was to make this a philanthropic arm, but also an educational arm. So we do give back a lot of
Yeah.
usually to community-based mental health organizations because I didn't want to do so much national because then the communities don't get that money.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
need it.
Yes, for
So
sure.
we do that, and also we do some scholarships for youth, and they
Oh,
write essays and things like that, and talk. It's amazing the things they'll talk about.
yeah.
And we've had guidance counselors even get parents involved because of this. So it's like
Wow.
I feel like along the way, if you can impact a life or
Yes.
two or more,
Yeah.
then it's I'm blessed to be able to do it.
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of people suffering, and just like you said, suffering in silence.
Hmm.
And you're never, well, I shouldn't say you're never, but it's going to make it very difficult for you to live a prosperous and full, healthy life if you're suffering with depression and anxiety and all of that stuff that goes along with it. So
Yeah.
I agree. I think that silence is the most dangerous thing we can do, whether it's our physical health or our mental
Yeah.
health or trauma in
Yes.
generations. So I do a lot. My tagline is stopping generational trauma, one story at a time, because I
Yeah.
believe if you can get that story out of your body, your mind, then you are able to look at it realistically, and hopefully you're able to get some healing from there and prevent it from continuing to your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids. So I think and I love that. And I love that women in business. I talked to a woman the other day who makes tequila, and proceeds of her tequila goes towards, because she's always had such a soft spot for animals, goes towards local animal charities.
Yeah.
This is what we should be doing. Helping with when we're successful, helping others, not just to look beautiful and feel beautiful inside, but to help their minds and their hearts as well. So I love that you're doing
Amen,
that.
sister.
Yeah, yeah. That's my stool.
I love that. And
Yeah,
you're so right about ACEs and adverse childhood events and trauma. So I'm thrilled to talk to
yeah.
a fellow comrade here. I get it.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So for if a woman is looking at reinventing herself, she's got an idea in her head, she wants to get out there and do something with the rest of her life, maybe the dream that she's had or the vision that she's held, but for whatever reason wasn't able to do it. What would you say the first practical step should be for her to go? What would be the first thing that she should do?
Well, I think that she should believe in herself.
Mm,
Okay. Find something that she's good at, right? Find something you're good at that you're interested in. Because if you do something that you're interested in or you naturally have a skill set, you're probably going to be more successful.
Ah,
Um, you know,
yes,
and I also, I don't, not just some pie in the sky, I want to do something. I mean, maybe at least research the heck out of it to where you become an expert because you've
yes.
got to know a lot about something if you're going to have a business doing it, right? And to
Mhm.
start small, and then you do baby steps to grow and learn along the way. Find a mentor or two or three, excuse me, and somebody that you respect that's good at this or that you think
Yeah,
you can learn from,
yeah.
and to try to just give yourself a little bit of a head start so you're not just starting cold.
Ah,
Surround yourself with good people, right, that know
mhm.
more than you know, And because it's really the best thing. You don't need to be the person that knows everything. And
Yes.
not to be afraid. You got to have
Yeah.
self-love and self-belief. Like it's like I always say, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Well, you didn't have this business before you started, so it's not that
Yeah.
big a deal, you know?
Yeah. I just love that. I think everybody should ask themselves. So yeah, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, I'll lose a few bucks.
Yeah,
Nothing will happen. Nobody
don't be
will
that
buy it.
terrible.
No big deal. But
But
if you
don't
don't
do.
try, I
Mhm.
don't want to be that lady on my porch in my rocking chair going, well, I never tried because I was worried.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
fear of failure holds people back.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
well, gee whiz, the people that are the most successful have failed the most. So you got
Yes,
to
you're
get it out of
right.
your head because otherwise you
Yeah.
don't try. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not
Yeah.
any good at this. Well, you can't be good at it. You've never done it before. Like
Yeah.
you'll get good at it.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's like your risk level. And you think, when I look back on my life, we always hear this. Everybody says it when people are on
Yeah.
their deathbed. You've heard it a million times. Like, what do you regret the most? I didn't take the risk. Well, then take it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, what did building generation skincare teach you about money, patience, and how long success actually takes?
Oh gosh. You know, th- I always think it's supposed to be successful like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And we didn't get any orders today. Oh no. You
Yeah.
know, it's like it's so short-sighted. So it's about building a brand, and first of all, making sure you've got a good product. And we
Yes.
have great products because if we
Yeah.
didn't have that, I wouldn't feel comfortable, asking people to use it. But,
Yes.
so I guess, it's just this thing. I'm not naturally a real patient person. And
Mm,
that's probably the hardest thing for me because um I just feel like everybody should know about it. But we're a small business. We're a small
yes.
business. So then I
Yes.
laugh about it because I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm surprised when I get a bunch of orders that I'm like, I can't believe all these women buy my stuff. You go from one extreme to the
It's
next because it's an
beautiful.
emotional thing when it's your baby.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
but we've got thousands and thousands of customers now. So then you get to the point to where you're like, okay, I know I got great products. I really know it. I'm not just saying it. And I guess, deciding next steps because I love what I do. And
Yeah.
everybody's always like, when are you going to sell it? When are you going to sell it? I'm like, I thought I am
Oh,
nowhere near ready to sell my brand. Okay. We are
yes.
in the process of launching a men's skincare line called Jet Skin. And
Ooh.
we just launched our saffron exosome product. We're the first in North America. We're doing some exciting cutting edge things. So I always
Yeah.
love knowing that we're not only a small boutique brand, but we're like, I don't say the best, but we're right up there in the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that gives me a sense of pride because I love being an
Yes.
overachiever and good at what I do. And I'm lucky I have a niece who's our medical consultant who's a
That's
dermatologist.
wonderful.
Yeah. So she
Yeah.
helps me a lot with active ingredient selection and tells me what's working. But then we do this, some of this stuff is cutting edge. Like she'd been using exosomes for years,
Yeah.
not years, couple years, and they're super expensive because they come from either humans or animals. And I'm like,
Well,
well, we're a
okay,
plant.
let me just stop you
Oh,
for a sec.
yeah.
Explain what that is to me.
An exosome,
Yes.
it's a teeny tiny vesicle. I can't even hardly explain how tiny it is. Okay. For
Yeah.
example, I'm going to get a bottle.
Yep. Yep.
This is Exaglow. I got off on a tangent, but patience
That's
isn't
okay.
patience is a virtue, and I'm not gonna sell for a while. Okay, so
Okay.
so exosomes are teeny tiny vesicles that are like little cargos, and typically they come from umbilical cords. Those are also stem cells. Vesicles are even
Yes.
smaller. And they
Okay.
talk to each other, like down in very deep in our dermis. I have a chart, but I won't bring it over here. Very
Yeah.
deep. So the epidermis is what you see. The dermis is the layer below it. That's where everything's going on. That's where our bodies make hyaluronic acid and collagen and elastin. All the fibroblasts are happening.
Uh,
Everything's happening at that second layer of your skin. That's why
yeah.
it's so important that you use teeny, teeny, tiny molecules. So I'm going to start with hyaluronic acid, then I'll talk about exosomes. So
Yeah.
we use something called super low molecular weight hyaluronic acid. All that means is It's the lowest molecular weight you can buy, and the molecules are so tiny they can penetrate through the epidermis and get way deep down to the dermis. And then it's a
Ah,
humectant, so it swells up to 1,000 times its weight in water. So it actually plumps our skin and makes people look better. Hydrated skin always looks better, and it plumps wrinkles, but mostly it gives us deep hydration. So that's an example of super low. Most companies are only using high molecular weight, and the molecules are big and they sit on your surface of your skin, so they never get deep. And the way
yeah.
hyaluronic acid works is by absorbing water. It's a humectant. It's hydrophilic. It's always water loving, searching for water. So when you've got these big molecules sitting on the surface of your skin, searching for water in the air, it's not going to find it in Colorado very often because it's very dry here.
Yes.
So, in Texas or Missouri or where, it's going to find that moisture and it's going to put it into that top layer of your skin, which is the epidermis. But what we really want is for it to go deeper. Now, in Colorado, when it doesn't find the moisture in the air, it actually draws the moisture out of your skin and makes your skin even drier. So
Oh,
I
of
knew we
course.
had to do things differently out here because of this dry climate. So that's why we invested in the super low molecular weight hyaluronic acid, and it costs 200 times more. So very few companies use it. So typically
Ah,
companies don't tell you what type of hyaluronic acid that they're using. Well, if they don't tell you, assume it's high molecular weight, or they would tell you otherwise. But there's a lot of
right.
molecular weights, but the super
Yeah.
low is the lowest you can get. So that's kind of a little bit of an analogy.
Yeah.
So these vesicles, I searched far and wide to find plant-based um, exosomes. So I finally found them in Italy, which is my favorite place to be. So we're actually going to go to the research facility this fall and visit them.
Ooh,
I'm
exciting.
I know. So it's actually this purple color. When you think of saffron, usually people think of the red part that we eat, which is the
Yeah.
piston.
Yeah.
And this comes from the tepal, which is the petal, and it's bright purple like this. And they've got fields and fields of blowing in the wind saffron in Italy.
Yeah.
And there's this biobotanical research lab called Advanced Botanicals Research, ABR, in this little town called Brnola, Italy. And they have the biotechnology to somehow be able to extract out of this petal gazillions. I know it's not a word, but so many of these things. And then they
Yeah.
centrifuge it and they're able to get it into a, a concentrate. So I have actually on my website a 60-second video with a scientific animation that can explain it even better. But in this small 1 ounce bottle, there are approximately 225 million saffron exosomes. So it's a bunch for just this, right? And that's only
Yeah.
5%. The most I can use in this bottle is 5%. So 5% of this volume is saffron exosomes, and there's 225 million of them. I love these too.
Wow.
So what just love it. Feels so good. So it's got our signature dual weight hyaluronic acid. I wanted to keep it simple. And then it's got the saffron exosomes. So I wanted plant-based. Saffron is the best of the best. And we do get it from a distributor in New York. And we are the first company in North America, including Canada, that actually makes a serum with these saffron exosomes. Some
Wow.
companies will say it's exosomes, but it's just extract. Well, you can get any kind of extract, you know.
Right.
Come on,
Right.
that's not the same thing. So this is all
Yes.
this biotechnology to get to these. So
Mm,
it's addressing inflammation. So
yes.
everybody knows inflammation is bad, and it's
Yes.
the root cause of aging, and it's happening at the dermal level of our skin. So these vesicles address the inflammation and the fibroblasts. At the same time, it's helping our top layer of our skin regenerate new
Yeah.
skin cells.
Yeah.
So it's good for healing, but it's also good if you just want new skin cells. So
Yeah.
doctors send patients home on exosomes all the time. Like I say, though, they typically come from animals or from humans because
Right.
after a procedure, it'll help you heal. We have an
Right.
amazing pictures I'll send you later of
Yeah.
for my 60th birthday last summer, we were in Alaska. And long story short, but my husband Jeff fell down a bunch of rocks and banged up his head. We ended up in the
Oh,
ER. And I mean, it looked so scary for months. And after he had laser from a dermatologist, it still looked bad. And we hadn't launched these yet, but I already had them. And I said, why don't you try these exosomes? And I
yeah.
mean, boom, you can barely even see anything on his head anymore.
Wow.
And then I had a
Wow.
burn on my face because I rarely curl my hair. And I curled my hair and I burned
Oh,
it.
I've
Seriously,
done
hand to
that.
God. Eh,
I've here. I've done it.
yeah, honest to God.
Yeah.
Anyway, usually it takes me weeks to get over a burn, and it was totally gone, like you couldn't see it in 4 days.
Wow.
It's very
Wow.
healing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of some ideas of what it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that it's what you know, I appreciate you explaining it because we just go out there. I think we consumers, we're just out there looking around. What's pretty? What's oh, this
Yeah,
sounds good. Oh, what's a brand name out there in the cosmetic store? But we don't really know.
right.
How can you know unless it's explained to you like that? So I appreciate that. Thank you. It makes me feel more comfortable if I was looking for a product or I was considering your product to know more about the actual way it's built, the
Well,
way
I
you put
appreciate
it
that
together.
because it really is about science and it's about why an ingredient does a specific thing and
Yes.
what do you maybe need for your skin. And
Yeah.
that's why I tell people, like, I get you like your Louis Vuitton bag. Okay, spend your money on that. I said, let me tell you something. Nobody knows how much money you're spending on your skincare. They just know
No.
if you have great skin.
No.
I go,
Yeah.
so maybe I should charge more for my skincare so that people think it's more, luxury because it's luxury ingredients. It's
Yeah.
proven medically active ingredients that are
Yeah.
clean,
Yeah.
but my goal is an affordable price because it comes from that me growing up with these depression era parents. And I love it when, I can help a school teacher or just a regular worker, a nail tech. I don't mean to, that maybe doesn't have as much money as somebody that's wealthy
Yes.
or a
Yeah.
bartender. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you can afford this.
Yeah.
So you can have the same
Yeah.
high quality ingredients that the rich ladies are getting when they go to the
Hmm.
med spa or their dermatologist office. We've got them
Yeah.
right here. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a background 34 years in sales and marketing.
Love it.
And I retired in 2024 from that job. And so but I've been doing some stuff with small business owners, helping them with marketing. And I wanted to explain to them how important it is to speak to your ideal client. You can't speak to everyone. And I use cosmetics. And I can't remember the top cosmetic, but I had three different types of cosmetic, and one was you get in the grocery store, and then the next one you get at the
Yeah.
like cosmetic store, and the third one was like $700 for like 1 ounce, and
Yeah.
that was just about explaining you can't market to the grocery store person as you're marketing to somebody who's going to pay $700. But I
Right.
always wondered, like, what's the difference between a 700 other than that you're buying the name?
That's a lot of it. I mean, sometimes
Yeah,
when something is medical grade, there is research and development that's involved, and there is a certain cost with that.
of course.
So I'll
Yeah,
respect that, having worked in the industry
yeah,
for a long time. But at the
yeah.
same time, I think it goes too far. It's like,
Yes,
okay, you got to recoup your investment, da 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 da
yes.
da.
Yeah,
But it ought to be attainable for most women to get, right? Not just
absolutely.
a luxury. So you're right. A lot of it is the brand name.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for sure. Yeah. Well, tell us where we can get your product.
Sure. It's very simple. We have a website. The website
Okay.
is generations, plural,
Yeah.
skincare.net.
Okay.
Generations.
And
skincare
so
dot-
do you ship then? So
Yes,
people
we
are
pay for shipping
purchasing?
over $90.
Okay.
So it's free for shipping over $90. At this point, we just ship within the United States though.
Ah, okay.
So I know, or we have a lot of Canadians, but they get it from their northern U.S. friends. So I
Yes.
need to look into that. We'll have to go through the
Yes.
equivalent of the
Yes.
Canadian FDA
It's
to
funny because I know I live close to the Blaine, Washington border. And I have so many friends that have little mailboxes down there.
Yes. No, it's very common. We ship to a lot to Washington and Michigan and New York and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Little mailboxes to go and
yes, we
get
do.
their American things that people aren't allowed to sell across.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
our best seller is this. It's called the Trio. So it's the three serums I was telling you about. They're color coded. So you do green in the morning
Ah,
and you do blue at night. And then this teal one goes on top of each twice a day. And that's the
ah.
anti-aging one that helps with all the gels and the neck and it's got all the
Yeah,
peptides. So it's a
yeah.
very simple routine. I wanted to make, like you can see, I have readers, but now I got blurry eyes. So I did this so that women like me would know which one to grab because so many times when I would travel in hotels, I would not be able to see what I was doing and I'd put the wrong thing in my hair or my body.
Oh, Yeah. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Or you get the two bottles that the only difference is it says shampoo, conditioner.
And you can't tell. I
You
know.
can't tell.
How many times have I messed that up, girl? I can't even tell you.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
this is 99 this is 99.95 for all three. And
Oh, wow.
yes, and we pay for shipping. And that will last most people around 6 weeks, give or take.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's very affordable for what it is.
Yeah. Wow. Well, Anne, thank you so much for doing this. Now, I want everybody to know that we're going to have all of the website information that you can reach out to Anne, find more information about her products is going to be in the show notes. So don't hesitate to do that. If any of you Canadian ladies out there are purchasing and going down and getting your stuff from your mail down just across the border, let me know because I might need you to pick up an order for me.
I love it. So I'm going to make an offer too, and
Okay.
I'll take care of this. We're going to give your listeners um a special discount code, and we'll call it Women Like Me 15 for
Ooh,
15% off of your first order.
okay. I got to write this down. I got to write this down so I don't
I'm gonna
forget.
plug it in right when I get off this call.
Okay, but I'm also going to write it down. So
Okay.
it's going to be Women Like
Women
Me
Like Me 15.
15.
The
Okay.
number 15, all in caps.
All caps. Okay.
Okay. So you
Ooh.
can share that on your site as well.
Oh, I'm going to. Absolutely. Well,
Let's do
thank
it,
you for
girls.
that. I love it when people give gifts. That's awesome.
So now, no trepidation. Let's just do it.
Yes,
Your skin
thank
will
you.
glow.
Yeah, yes, well, that's what we all want. And to be healthy on the inside
We
as
want
well
to
as
be
outside.
healthy. And
Yeah.
you did. I really enjoyed this chat we had today, Julie. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Anne. I appreciate you being willing to do it. So remember, everyone, go to the show notes. Not only are you going to find the website, but you're going to find the code to get yourself a product. So some good stuff. So go ahead and do that and give it a try. Reach out to Anne if you have questions. All of the information is going to be there. Thank you so much, Anne, for doing this, and thank all of you for being here on this episode of Women Like Me: Stories in Business. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.